We have a case here today of a Nissan X-Trail 2002 model year. Nissan X-Trail with a 2-liter engine, naturally aspirated. The customer complains about low power. I have driven the vehicle. Ivan has driven this vehicle. Siraji has driven this vehicle for not very short uh, test drives, about a few kilometers on each test drive, and the three of us think this vehicle has enough power. It doesn't look, it doesn't sound like, it doesn't seem weak. So I'm trying to get into the engine control module to see if there are any fault codes. Sorry, I got interrupted for a minute, but I'm trying to get into the engine control module. This vehicle, I'll actually start the engine. Cranks and starts fine. This ECM is taking a long time connecting. I'm thinking I tried to get into the ECM before the key was on. That's why it is giving me that fault message. Let me try it again now that the engine is running. See, it comes right up. And okay, 2 fault codes. One to do with CAN communications, 2 to do with P1110. I think that has to do with its variable valve timing mechanism on this engine. If true, especially the second fault code, that could be linked to the weak loss of power that the customer is complaining about. 3 of us here have driven this vehicle and we didn't think there was an issue, but now seeing this, I think we have to revise our test drives, or what we saw on the test drives. What I'm going to do first, but then again, I could chase these fault codes when they were caused previously by someone else touching circuits on the engine, especially that the connection for the VVTI, and setting that fault code. I usually don't do this, but in this case I'm going to erase these codes and see if they come back right away. I've noted them down, so I'm not worried. If I need to do a revision of my diagnostic path or strategy, I'll come back and address especially the P110. I'm not sure the other U1000 DTC will come back. If it does, that could lead to a different diagnostic path. Right now it's saying there is no DTC detected. I'm going to try to rev the engine up a bit. Wide open throttle. All I'm doing with that is I'm trying to get the ECM to operate the valve timing mechanism. We'll see if the P1110 comes back. That's wide open throttle. Another time, last time. Try to see if it's saying there are no fault codes. Maybe I should go into the data. I'd like to see ignition timing, oxygen sensors maybe. Okay, VVTI commands. Wait a minute. So I want to see the mass airflow. What else could you use here? Combustion, what is that? I want to see what that is about. Sensor heater. Okay, just for the hell of it, I'll throw the oxygen sensor heater PIDs in as well. Ignition timing is at idle is standing at about 15 degrees before top dead center. Oxygen sensors, I want to show you that they are switching very well. See that they're staying lean a little bit too long, rather rich, a little bit too long, but they're obviously switching like I would expect them to. So I wouldn't have a real problem with them, the oxygen sensors. I think I should also go back and get the fuel trim data if I can find it, but for now, before I do that, let me try to graph the valve timing data as well, because at the bottom, this down here is the command. This here should be the command. This should be the actual change in valve timing after actuation by the commanded valve. Let's see if that changes with RPM. You can see very clearly that whenever the ECM commands valve timing change, it actually achieves it. The valve actually achieves it. I'm going to hold the RPM at about 2000. That's 3500. I'm going to bring it down to 3000 now. It's difficult to keep it level, but that's 2.5 now. I want to push it back to 3000 RPM. But you can see every time there is the ECM commands valve timing change, you see there is a change going on. So I think it's achieving the commanded. You can see very clearly from the way the graphs are looking. I think it is the ECM is achieving, the valve is achieving the valve, the change in timing that's commanded by the ECM. So I don't want to rev the heck out of this poor engine just for that. And looking at the mass airflow, that looks pretty fine to me at idle. I would wish to get the grams per second interpretation by the ECM for the mass airflow. I'm going to go back into the data and see if I can find it, but see, that is, I want to see a maximum at wide open throttle of about 4 volts. I want to see if I can get it. Yes, I sorry, I got interrupted once again, but I want to see if I can achieve at least 4 volts on wide open throttle with the foot all the way down on the gas pedal. I'm not really seeing that. I'm seeing a maximum of 3.5. I've just seen 3.7. .7 is as high as it can go. In fact, I've seen 3.8, but I had the engine ECM cutting the RPMs, holding the RPMs at about, I think it was 6,000 RPM, and I think I've seen enough. I didn't reach 4 volts according to the data, but I think that's pretty close. I don't think there is an issue with this mass airflow. I want to find out if I can get fuel trim data on this list. Is that anywhere I can find? Maybe that. Would it be that? Nah. I think my other scan tool can give me that data, so I'm going to get that scan tool now. Okay, I'm now using the new no, the other scan tool, and as you can see, says there are no fault codes. Let me see what I can play with. Only the fuel pump. Anything else? Only the fuel pump. That's not going to be very helpful. I want to see my custom data list. I want to see if I can find anything to do with fuel trims. Air fuel ratio bank 1. I want to have a look at that. And anything else? I already had a look at the valve timing data, so I don't need that at the moment. Okay, let's see what the air fuel bank air fuel ratio bank 1 info says it is standing at 104. I mean, that's a little above 100%. If I rev it up, it goes down. No, I think I'm overdoing the revving. Let me hold it at about 2000. I think for better comparison, let me pull up the engine speed info as well. And to graph that, okay, put on the gas pedal. Around 2000, looks like it's still at 104. Let me push it to 2500. Still 100. Oh, it went down to 84. That means it's running lean, right? And at 3000 RPM. Stays kind of lean. Comes back at 104% at around 2000. If I increase the RPM again, it goes back to 84. Take the foot off the pedal. Four. So it's now running actually a little bit rich, which is expected because it's doing a decel fuel cutoff. Decel fuel cut and goes back to 104. That's still at 104. So it looks very near normal at idle, but at RPMs higher than 2000, it goes lean. So this could, thinking very quickly, to me this could mean either a bad mass airflow sensor or fuel related issues. No, it can't be a bad mass airflow because it's almost just a little bit rich at idle, going lean at high RPMs. It's looking more like the odds, I would say, would push it more towards being fuel pressure related issues. I'm hoping I translated this properly. 100% should be very near normal. In fact, 100% is perfect. Over 100%, significantly over 100%, should be rich. Below 100% of the air fuel ratio should mean lean. It's running lean. In other words, it's having more air than fuel in its in the mixture, leaving the manifold and going into the engine. So 104 doesn't look so bad, but 84 definitely sounds lean. I think next step should be for us to investigate fuel pressure issues on this vehicle. I don't know if we are going to do that today because one, today is public holiday. Two, I'm going to have a look at the engine, but I don't think this model has the shredder valve on the fuel rail to fit the gauge that we have. The fuel gauge we have will only accept shredder valves. So I'm not so sure we are going to be able to measure the fuel pressure directly using our fuel gauge on this one. But let's go around the front and see. You can see it has a coil on plug arrangement on the engine. This engine is damn hot right now because I've just been running it for a while I was inside the vehicle. But you can see the fuel rail is behind there with the injectors, and this is the pipe that's coming from the fuel tank. You can see this is around here on the fuel rail is normally where I would have a shredder valve to fit our fuel gauge, but we don't have any of that. We've ordered for a new fuel pressure gauge with a T junction where I will be able to take this pipe off and T in the fuel gauge in. When we get that, maybe we can be able to measure the fuel pressure on vehicles like this. But the fuel gauge we have only accepts shredder valves, which are very common on engines in European cars. And you can see this pipe goes all the way down like that way, all the way down under the car and towards the fuel tank. So unfortunately today we can't measure the fuel pressure on this vehicle and rule out whether we have a fuel pump issue with this vehicle. I'm very sorry about that. We shall invite this vehicle back once we have our pressure gauge, our new pressure gauge with us, the one that we can tee into this kind of junction or connection, and we can take it from there. For now, I don't practice throwing parts at the vehicle. I don't feel like throwing a new pump at this vehicle just based on the fuel trim that I have seen. I'd like to see more concrete evidence pointing towards either fuel rail issues or fuel injector issues. Now I'm thinking, because I've run out of time today, I'm thinking we can put an oscilloscope on the fuel injectors as well. In fact, the package that is coming with our fuel gauge has a small pocket injector tester. I think when we get that package, we shall take the injectors out and test them for spray pattern and compare them against each other to see if there's any of those falling out. For now, because the equipment is still in transit, this is as far as I can go without beginning to engage in guesswork.